quiet and deserted. This is how the estates where some of the victims reside now look. Arise News had earlier reported that bandits numbering about 15 attacked the Sagwari Layout Estate Duse Buhari local government area last weekend and adopted 10 victims. But in the latest development, sources say some victims were contacted by security agents to come identify bodies discovered at the outskirts of Buhari local government. Further investigations reveal that more than 9 corpses have been dumped at different locations within the Federal Capital Territory within the last few days. Sadly, these bodies have been identified as victims from several kidnappings since the start of the year. The Federal Capital Territory has seen an increase in the spate of bandits attacks since the later part of 2023, with the killings unabated in the new year. While several reports place the numbers of kidnapped victims in September at close to 100, security operatives say these numbers are exaggerated. A statement by the Force Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi states that the police force has already initiated a comprehensive plan of action and are coordinating efforts to address and prevent any further occurrences and rescue the victims. Now, sad news coming out from Buhari local government of the Federal Capital Territory concerning the killings of some victims who were abducted from their houses in various kidnapping operations earlier in the year. Now, while the station have been contacted by some family members, they have also chosen to remain anonymous for fear of what might happen to some of the other victims who are still in captivity. But the message right now is to the security agencies to come out strong and hard on these elements who have ensured that residents of the FCT have not slept with their eyes closed in the new year. Ferdinand Duruoha reporting from Buhari local government area in the Federal Capital Territory.
Okay, joining us now is Rise News security correspondent Ferdinand Duruoha to speak on the issues of insecurity in the FCT. Thanks, Ferdinand, for joining us on News Time.
Yeah.
The issue of insecurity seems to be getting louder and louder. The bandits and the terrorists they've crept into Nigeria's capital city, and no time they are going to reach all the high places.
Well, it's quite sad, and we're going to start with what we know, for now. And talking about what we know, well, we know that in the last 4 days, we can confirm, and that's because we have spoken with family members and, well, some of those eyewitnesses who went to confirm, the corpses who were deposited at different morgues and, of course, picked from different parts of the city, specifically underlined in Buhari local government area. Now, for those of them which were seen in the last, which were picked up in the last 48 hours, where they were seen about, within, I'm trying to get the name of the local government now, around the Buhari Kaduna School Road by Pishini community border between Kagako local government area and Buhari local government, and we can confirm
that's the
several
famous
of them.
Kagako now.
Yes, we can confirm
Kaduna
is the border between Kaduna and Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. Now we can confirm that about 7 people have been picked up by villagers who call the police authorities to come pick up these bodies, and then the police, based on recent reports, they get to reach some of these family members, come identify the bodies, and sadly, when you make that journey, you want to pray that your loved one is not part of those bodies. For some of them, they've come back with sadness, haven't confirmed some of their members, some of their family members, and for some of them, they still have hope that yes, they will be released sometime. Now, talking about the ransoms now, or why these killings.
Sorry, before we go to the ransom, another family of about 5 girls kidnapped, we saw that one
Yes,
of
yes.
the girls too had been killed.
Yes. Well, we've been on top of that, since early in the day, trying to confirm that now. Well, we were actually on top of that before we had this information.
Yeah.
Now, don't forget that, we had visited and made this report on Monday after the attack on Sunday. And so quickly, we had to go there where we already had sources confirm it. And of course, have some pictures to also back it up. And, for the other one, well, we're still following up on the leads, and that's because when it has to do with confirmations, well, you want to see the bodies, or perhaps you want to see strong evidences before you come out with that story. But then it's just sad looking at the way things have turned out in the Federal Capital Territory, and that's because, it's the same script. Bandits dominating ungoverned spaces. And when you take a look
in
at
the Federal Capital, where you
Bandit,
have the president, you have
all
the military chiefs.
That's why I'm saying
the IGP. In fact, I wanted to ask Ferdinand, is there a police commissioner in the FCT here?
That's why I'm saying it's the same script. Now, things that we've seen happen in Maiduguri, in Zamfara, in some other places, in Niger State, where you have large ungoverned spaces, now it's beginning to happen. And when you take a look at where it is happening in those places where you have rocks just behind them. Now, that seems to be the modus operandi there. They come down from these rocks, pick, whoever they can pick, and then run back in. Unfortunately, we do not have the security personnel mobilizing early enough. And so one other thing that we've noticed is that element of secrecy. Now, it comes with every terrorist attack. They come in, and then when they make those calls, they tell you, ensure that you do not speak. And that's because if you speak, we are going to come back, we are going to kill. But then from what we've seen, this silence is being enjoyed by the security forces. Oh, nobody's talking, nobody's holding us accountable. And guess what they say? We will investigate, or we are investigating, and it goes on. Now, a report by Daily Trust just before the end of the year put the number of killings at close to 300. And
in Abuja,
in Abuja last year, and the authorities came out strongly and they said, "Wow, that's exaggerated." And the next question was, "Okay, if it's exaggerated, from your calculations, give us the statistics." But we don't have that now, and it has gone on unabated from 2023, and right now in 2024, we can confirm that it is indeed much more intense. Now, almost every 2 days, almost every 48 hours, you get calls. There's this attack here, there's this attack there.
It's even happened on Depot Road too.
And sad. I must also say that that's not to say the security operatives have not, done one or two things to try and condone. Now, they talk about intensifying, operations, they do the normal surveillance, but it
Ferdinand, the Buhari area you talked about, and the rocks and those villages were the same place the terrorists who were waiting to pounce on the law school in Buhari, where the brigade of guards went in, lost a few officers and the rest before they routed them, away. The terrain is difficult, no doubt. Where are the choppers, to survey all these places?
That's exactly what we hope. Now, we hope to see these assets. Sadly, we talked about, most of our security agencies having that rush, that scramble to go and purchase drones. And, we talked about the fact that there is a need for some kind of regulation based on what we saw happened in Kaduna a couple of weeks back. But then it is obvious that we have to do more. It has to be just more than surveillance. It has to be just more than giving assurances. We're on top of it. We are going to arrest them. We have to ensure that we cover these ungoverned spaces and make it very, very uncomfortable for anybody to hatch plans and then come out, pick up 10, 15 people, and then run back into the bushes. It's happening in the FCT, and we definitely have to stand against it. And particularly, just like I said, the culture of silence. It's a shame that
It's creeping in
It's
now.
creeping in. It's a shame that it has come this far. And what that would only do is
Worsen the situation.
worsen the situation. Everybody goes to sleep, and then at the end of the day, nothing is done.
Aren't we all sleeping right now?
It's
Thank you
sad.
very much. Ferdinand Duruoha, a RISE security correspondent there, giving us updates on the nefarious activities of bandits and terrorists. They are taking over Nigeria's federal capital territory.